Hello again. Now, after the long winter months, our attentions are turning to summer holidays. While many people favour warmer Mediterranean climates, in years gone by, hundreds of Glaswegians would have spent their holidays closer to home, in Ayr to be precise. Now, if you're old enough to remember Butlins holiday camp, chances are you would have enjoyed a summer holiday or day trip there. Well, it's time to take a trip back there again, thanks to our guests Frank McGroarty and Joe Byrne, both former Redcoats at the holiday park. Thanks very much for joining us here on STV Glasgow, guys.
Right.
So tell me, first of all, what was it like to be a Redcoat?
It was the ultimate in job satisfaction. I mean, it was hard work. I mean, you were working from, say, like half 8 in the morning to maybe, say, 1 o'clock at night, and if you were in a show, you were rehearsing till maybe 3 o'clock the following morning, so you were on the go all the time. But the thing was, the fact what you were giving back was absolutely fantastic, because you were contributing to making someone's holiday that bit special, because the Redcoats were, that was their main aim. They were hosts, and they had to make sure that people had the best holiday possible. And when you were getting that kind of response from folk, it was absolutely fantastic.
So how did you get into it?
Well, I got into it not because of my personality, because I didn't have one. I actually did ballroom dancing many, many moons ago. I used to be in the Scotland formation team that did the TV years ago, and we used to rehearse up at the old Tiffany's Ballroom in Sucky Street.
Right.
And it just so happens when the team disbanded, I was asked to. I found the advert for the job as a Redcoat, and I just sent it away. And the boss just said, when he interviewed me, he says, "Can you do waltzes and quick steps and stuff like that?" I said, "Oh, absolutely." And he said, that's basically what got me the job. My main domain was the ballroom. That was my main aim. It was getting people up to dance.
So, Joe, what about yourself? How did you get involved?
Well, I used to go on holiday with my wife and 2 kids, and 3 weeks before we went to our last holiday, I was made unemployed. And having kids, you don't want to be unemployed, so they were looking for bar staff. So I applied, and I went home on the Saturday after the holiday. I went back on the Monday and started behind the bar in the Continental, and that was it. And then one day I was in the town in here, and we're in a pub, and it was a sing-song, and there were loads of Redcoats singing. So I said, "Oh, they're no beating me, I'm going to sing." So we went back to the camp, and on the Sunday, the entertainment manager come and asked me if I would sing in the sing-song in the Continental on the Sunday. And when I come off, he said, "Would you like a job?" He said, "I've not got a job now, but in '83, so '83, that's where I started."
So for those that might not remember or know Butlins, what was it about? What was it like?
It was a special world. I mean, the moment you went through them gates, you forgot your normal sort of day-to-day, life. You went into a place where it was a special atmosphere. The entertainment was free. You had stuff going on at all the venues. There was Cabaret, there was shows on at night, you had your fairgrounds, you had your competitions, which unfortunately you wouldn't even entertain the idea of running today because of the politically correct world that we live in. And it was such a special atmosphere, a special place. It was a special world, and it was all contained within that that atmosphere. And I think that was what Billy Butlins was wanting to try and get from the very beginning, was to create a special world. It was a week's holiday for a week's pay, and it was something for everyone. It was pure family entertainment, family holiday.
It was a great place because, as Frank says, family. When you started working there, you did collect as a family, and we're still a family. When one of our family dies, we feel it. When one of our family gets married, we're all happy, and we all keep in contact. We go to reunions all over the place. We have hundreds of reunions, and we've actually got one on the 8th to the 11th of May down at Craig Tara.
So the community spirit's still going?
Oh, yeah.
Very much so, yeah, because I mean, when we were at Scarborough for the reunion last year, it wasn't just like former staff members. There was people who went on holiday who used to love the old style Butlins experience, and that's what we did back then. When we did that reunion, we basically put on a programme of events the way we used to do it. And even though you have to move on with the times, the people that still have very fond memories of the things that we used to do. I mean, we even held things like Knobbly Knees contests and stuff like that, and there's still people that love that kind of stuff.
And we saw, it was lampooned in things like Heidi High. Was it really like that?
Oh, yeah.
You recognise characters. I mean, somebody used to tell me that the Spike character was me. And Ted Bovis was obviously him. Yeah, he's Ted Bovis. Somebody who can sing and tell jokes. Give him a radio mic, you're in trouble. And the thing was, we were told in the '83 season, before the whole thing started, whatever you do, don't mention Heidi High, because it might sound lovely, but it'll drive you nuts after 17 weeks. And the thing was, a lot of the Redcoats, especially him, he just says, "Oh, forget that." And he was, every time he walked into a venue, he would shout "Hi, hi."
Yeah, I mean, if you see Redcoat, the only time I had a Redcoat on was actually Thursday. I usually dressed as a wee schoolboy.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
can you imagine? I was a wee bit thinner, you know. Imagine a big 6'3" guy there. It was unbelievable, you know.
And we went into management. I mean, when he graduated into management, that's when he was in long trousers. He was delighted.
No, I wasn't. I went back, didn't I?
Yeah, exactly.
So you've put all this down in a book, Frank.
Yes.
So what kind of memories have you collected in that book?
Well, what it was is the thing about with this book. It's fiction based in historical fact. It's telling the story of a guy who is very introverted, not very sort of shy, mega shy. Didn't have the confidence to do very much. He had his own special world where he felt safe, and in this character's version, it was performing on stage, and it was that which got him the job at Butlins. And as he progressed through the season, he starts to discovers the person that he wants to become, and he eventually finds love later on in the story. And I'll basically say the main character is like a template of what happened to me, because they always say, "Write what you know," and that was my start.
And you met your wife.
Yes, I did. Yes,
so tell us a bit about that.
She worked in the kitchens. She was I think she was doing washing the dishes and stuff like that. And she saw me dancing on the Stuart Ballroom floor. We used to do disco demonstrations, and I was dressed in a fluorescent lime green shirt, and that's when I seemed to have caught her attention. She became a Redcoat in '83, and we got engaged that year. Whilst we were on duty, actually. We were on the train station at Ayr, and I did the proper thing down in bended knee after buying a ring at a cheap jewellery store. And we basically brought Ayr to a standstill, and their train station at a standstill. And this year is our 30th anniversary.
Fantastic. So it's got a legacy. And do you miss Butlins then? Do you miss what it had to offer?
I actually got the right hand. I would actually go there and work for nothing. You know, it was lovely. I mean, as the book says, the people ask you silly questions. What time does midnight cabaret start? And sometimes you say it'll be 6:30. But when people come up and say to you, "See, when you go out, what time have you got to be back in it?" There was a time, you know.
We never done it for the money. That was the thing, because back in '82, you were working, say, 16-hour shifts, and you were getting paid £38 a week. And yes, the accommodation was there, but the accommodation was like a box room. You know, close the door knob came into bed with you. You know, that's how bad it was. But the thing was, nobody done it for the money.
It was worth it.
Because it meant so much to a lot of people being a Butlins Redcoat. And the fact that it meant so much to them, it was passed on to the guests.
Great. We're going to have to leave it there, guys.
Right.
Sorry about that.
That's a pleasure.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Moving on, now more than 2,000 Irish dancers from as far afield